Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody's having a great morning. My name is Antonio, and I am the community navigator for the Office for New Americans at the Center. Today, we have a great workshop for you guys. It's going to be presented by Ashley Bustos, our employment manager at the Center, and it's going to be about how to write a resume. So without further ado, Ashley, go ahead and take it away, and thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, Antonio. Hi, everyone. So if you don't know me, I am the employment manager here at the center. I'm in our employment department with my 3 staff. So any questions you may have, you can always reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to assist you with anything, resume writing or application assistance or just job search. So I'm going to do a PowerPoint presentation today just to go over some of the main points on how to write a resume. And any questions you may have, please use the chat box and I will answer them as questions come along. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so here's my page, Workforce Development, Resume Writing. Anyone ever write a resume themselves? Or has anyone ever had any type of experience writing a resume? You can unmute yourself, I think. If you have any questions, you can talk. No? All right, we'll start. So when an employer is looking at a resume, what's the initial amount of time the employer takes to review an applicant's resume or CV? Does anybody have any idea how long an employer actually looks at a resume when they get it on their desk or in their email? Anyone say anything? Antonio, tell me if anybody's typing anything in that chat box, okay?
I will let you know.
All right. So the answer is just about 15 to 20 seconds minimum, or 45 seconds max. So you really want to make your resume stand out and be the best that it can be. You want to highlight your best features on your resume so the employer really knows within those 15 to 20 seconds what type of person you are and what type of work ethic you have. So why do you need a resume? Does anybody know why it's important to have a resume? Okay. Well, having a resume, it's a marketing tool. You're marketing yourself. Having a resume also helps you to get an interview. The list of things that you put on your resume is going to give the employer a really good idea about who you are, what you've had for experience, what your education is, and what skill sets you have. And having a resume is really a requirement of many organizations nowadays. So putting together even just a simplistic one is really important to do nowadays. All right, so a resume, there's some hidden messages. So if you have your resume and it's neat, well organized, free of any type of, errors, so spelling, grammatical errors, free of all of that, it looks professional. What does that say about yourself? Does anybody have any idea what that says about yourself on a resume? Well, if your resume is neat, the employer will see that you are a neat person. If it's well organized, you are a well organized individual. If it's error-free, you pay attention to detail. And if it has a professional appearance, employers are going to think that you are careful and competent at anything you do. So having a resume that is very well put together, concise and to the point, is going to help you shape who you are to the employer. So let's go over the sections of a resume. So there's certain sections to a resume. So the header. Can anybody tell me what should be included in the header? We should just let everybody sit here and talk, Antonio. How do you unmute everyone?
I think you have the tool. It might be under more, maybe.
I can just ask everyone to unmute.
Yeah, I mean, I put it on the chat that they can go ahead and just ask the question right out, or they can, answer questions. But yeah, you can just go ahead and ask them to go ahead and unmute themselves.
Okay, so what should be included in the header? Anyone? Nora, Kepa, Ong? Anybody answer this? What should be included, Nora? Alrighty, well, you should put your name on the header. You should include your permanent and present address, an email address, and an up-to-date telephone number. These things are super, super important. Your email address, you really want to make sure that it's a professional email address. I'm sorry? Somebody else. So you want to make sure that it's a really professional email, include your name. Don't include anything like, baby mama or, something like that. It looks very unprofessional. So you want to make sure that your email address is something that employers will look at and know that you are taking this seriously. So where should this contact information go? Where does the header usually appear on a resume?
The middle top.
On the top, yes, correct. So on the top of the page. So here's just an example of the resume. So this is the header. You can see here, the name is in big bold letters. You want it to stand out so the employer knows who they're looking at. The address is nicely included, and it has a nice professional email address. So sally.jones@gmail.com. And the phone number is listed nicely right next to that. This is a very simple, easy header that you can use for any type of resume that you may be writing. All right. So an objective statement. Does anybody know what the purpose of having an objective statement is? Do we know what an objective statement is?
Purpose
Okay.
he or she wants to accomplish.
Exactly. So it's something that a person wants to accomplish. So the purpose of the objective statement is to communicate the type of position that somebody is interested in. So whether it be an entry-level position, a management type of position, you want to state that with a very simplistic sentence right off the bat so that employer can see what you are looking for. So I just have some examples here. So you could write something like a management trainee position with a specialty realtor. So maybe you want a management position with Walmart. Maybe you're looking for a technical sales position. Maybe you're looking for long-range goals of regional sales management. That's what you have. So you want to showcase that you have that experience. Or maybe you want to obtain a position as a field service representative with a certain software company. So you can put the employer's information into that objective to personalize it, or you can be very, very simplistic, as we'll see on this next slide I have. So here's our Sally Jones. Her objective is to obtain an entry-level human resource position. So very simple. Maybe this person has, gone to school and is just looking to get her foot into the door. So she wants an entry level, a beginning position in human resources with the company that she's applying to. All right, so education. I get asked this question quite a bit from our refugee and immigrant population who does not have an education. It's important to put any type of schooling you may have. So I have included here degrees, high school diplomas, but I mean, if you're in ESL classes or you're in a technical school, you can always list that information as well. So with the education portion of the resume, you want to include the name of the school. So you want to include the city and state if it's not part of the title. So like Syracuse University is located in Syracuse, New York. Some people might know that, some people might not. You can add it, you don't have to. It looks nice though if you do include the city and state where that school was located. You want to name your degree and major, even a minor if you had a minor in another subject. So here I just have the example. You have a bachelor's of nursing or a bachelor's of science in nursing. So here is a bachelor's of science in business administration, but you have your degree in accounting. You want to list degrees in reverse chronological order. Okay, so you want to start with the most recent degree listed first and then go down from there. So here's just an example from our Sally Jones. Oh, actually, haven't done that yet. So also you want to put the date or expected date of graduation. So if you've graduated May 2020, put that down. If you're expected to graduate, so say you're still in high school or you're still in college finishing up your degree, you can put your expected graduation date. If you know your GPA, you can also put that in. So GPA is grade point average. When you're putting that on your resume though, you want to round to the nearest 10th. So you don't want to make it too complicated for individuals. So 3.1, not 3.095. The less numbers, the better. And also, so you want to put your school information after your college information, reverse chronological order. So here is our example. We have our objective, we have our education listed under there. You can see this in a lot of different ways. Sometimes the education might be at the bottom of the page. Just for viewing purposes, this is how I created it. When you're doing a resume, you can really create it any way you want, as long as you have these topics, these headers on here. It's okay to put them in different places, which I'll show you after we're done going through the parts. So she has University of Syracuse in Syracuse, New York, bachelor's degree in business administration, but her concentration was in human resource management. This person is expected to graduate May of 2021, and she's got a GPA of 3.8. Okay, so experience. You want to use the term experience on your resume. So does anybody know what is considered experience on a resume? Well, full and part-time jobs are considered experience. If you're self-employed, that is considered experience. Any type of volunteer work is relevant to your experience that you may have. If you've done a practicum, field, and cooperative education, that's all types of experience. So there's an array of different things you can put on your resume that is considered experience. So some information to include, you want to put the job title, your dates of employment, the company name, and the city and state that the employer was located. Also, listing some responsibilities. So you want to use bullet points, like I have on the slideshow. You want to use bullet points so it's easy to read and very concise. So employers don't have to really look into it a lot, can just eyeball what you're trying to say and get a good idea of the responsibilities you've had at a particular job. You want to start each line with an action verb. Does anybody know what I'm talking about when I say action verb? it's a verb that describes what somebody is doing. So if you're currently working at the position, you want to use present tense. And if you have left that job or that position, you want to use past tense. You want to vary your choice of verbs. So assisted, worked with, something that's describing what you used to do. You want to tailor the skills and experiences to the position for what you are applying. And like I keep saying, you want to be concise while providing enough detail. Here's an example. So Sally was a human resource intern at the center, June 2019 to June 2020. So here is our action verbs, assisted with updating employee personnel files, screened job applicants, observed the human resource manager reviewing applications. So there's our past tense, what they have done. And then you have this. She was a sales associate at Rue 21 in Rome, and she's still currently working there. So June 2018 to present, she trains new employees, participates in interviewing and selecting employees. She oversees inventory and auditing of products and open and closes the store. So you can see there she used some different action verbs: overseeing, participating, training. Those are all good words to use when you're doing a simplistic resume. If you have any honors or awards, again, you want to do the order by dates, reverse chronological order. You want to rank order by importance to the career objective. So if you are, that I had that on there, it's okay. So if you were like, you're a human resource individual and you're part of a human resource society, that's something that you want to put in there because it's related to your degree. You also want to put professional affiliations and activities. Again, reverse chronological order, rank order by importance to the career objective. You don't want to say that you're a member of, but I will show you how you can do it in a certain way that makes sense to the employer. You want to emphasize your leadership roles and spell out the organization's name. So don't use any type of abbreviations or acronyms. A lot of the employers don't know what those acronyms mean. You can write out the organization's name and then put the acronyms in parentheses, just to show that, there is another way that that organization views themselves. So here, Sally has honors. She was part of the Honor Society, and she still is, 2017 to the present, on the Dean's List, 2017 to present, and she was Employee of the Month, October 2019. You can put Employee of the Month for what job you were working, or if you still currently are working, you can definitely put that in there. She's only really worked one job, and you can see where she was working at that time by looking at her previous work experience. And the activities listed here, so she's part of the Society for Human Resource Management, 2018 to present, Student Government Association, 2018 to 2019, and she's part of the rescue mission as a volunteer in Utica, 2012 to present. So she's involved in quite a bit of different activities. You can see here she did put the Society for Human Resource Management on top because that is something that is related to her career objective and her resume as a whole. So some resume do's. You want to use action verbs. Use short, concise sentences. Keep your resume easy to read. Keep resume about 1 page. It's okay if you go over, if you have, a lot of work experience that's like, relevant to what you're applying for, to show your experience, but always keep it to around three employers. You want to keep it as short and simple as possible. This is to get you that interview. If you have more to talk about at the interview, so be it, but you really want this to be very concise and to the point. Some don'ts, you don't want to use the pronouns such as I, me, my in your document. You don't want to include references. So references are people that, you know, can speak highly of you. Don't put those on the page. As you'll see, I usually just put a little blurb on the bottom that they are available upon request. So if the employer is interested, he can request your references on a separate page at a later time. You don't want to clutter your resume with non-essential information. So you don't want to put information in there, you know, that isn't related to the job that you're applying to. I mean, you want to put your skill sets and things of that nature on there, but really don't clutter it with information that has no use in being on your resume. Don't lie. Don't make any misrepresentations on your resume. If you haven't gone to college, don't sit there and say you have an associate's degree in criminal justice. Keep it truthful. A lot of people really like experience over education, so don't feel like you need to have that continuing education on your resume to get a high-paying, good job. It's not always the case. You don't want to include personal information such as your social security number on your resume. You don't want to put your age, your date of birth, male, female, height, weight, marital status. Photograph, here's the thing with the photograph. Right now, a lot of individuals who make new resumes are putting their face shot or headshot on their resume. It depends on what type of job you're doing. If you're just trying to go for an entry-level position, it's not necessary to put a photo on there. If you're trying to do a management position, an executive position, putting a photograph on there, a name to a face could be a good idea. So I have photograph on here, but sometimes it is a good idea to do it depending on the position that you're trying to apply for. So if you need additional assistance, always know you can come to our Employment and Workforce Development Center. You can make an appointment with one of our workforce development specialists. We have Kay Pa and Nora on with us today. Just call our 315-738-1083 number and leave us a message, and we can assist you in finding a job or helping with resume assistance, application assistance, whatever you may need. You can also visit our webpage here. This will give you just a little bit more of an idea of what we do. I did want to show you the finished product of the resume that we were working on during this PowerPoint. So I'm going to show you that now. I'm going to share it with you. Okay, so here's our finished resume. Here's Sally Jones. You have the header up top. You have your objective to obtain an entry-level human resource position. Your education is listed. Relevant experience. So she was a human resource intern. She also was a sales associate, and she still is. She has honors, activities, and references. Like I said, just put a little blurb on the bottom that they are available upon request. And when you do that, I mean, you want to create a separate reference page. So with 3 different people who could really speak highly of your performance at work. You don't want to use relatives. You don't want to use like best friends. You want to use, you know, supervisors or coworkers, maybe a teacher, somebody who can speak on your professional behalf. So this is just one example. Many examples you can do. If you've ever used Word before, I just want to show you. You can use templates for your resumes. So if I just type resume, searching, you can see all the different types of templates you could use. So this is just on a Word doc. You can go through here and kind of pick what you want. It also has templates for cover letters, so you can kind of scroll through there and get ideas for that. Computer's frozen. Oh boy. So there's different ways that you can set up a resume if you're not sure. And you can always come to our department and ask us for assistance, or we can assist you online. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? That's all I really have.
If anyone has any questions, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask the question, or you can write it right on our chat box. In the meantime, Ashley, thank you so much for, taking the time and presenting for us on such a great information that everyone needs. Even if it's just a refresher, sometimes we all need to see all this information. So
Definitely.
thank you so much. While people may be thinking about a question, or maybe they're looking to unmute, if you need help with that, let me know through the chat box. We can guide you through that. Next week, we have a couple events that I'd like to announce. We have the roundtable, the ONA roundtable that's going to be talking about voting. Really important information. That's going to be on the 29th. That's Tuesday, and it's going to be at 10 a.m. A lot of great information. If you're interested in attending that, please let us know. All the information will be on the Facebook page for the center. If you're not following that, please give us a follow. It's going to be at the center Utica. So the other event that's going to happen is a workforce workshop that's going to happen on Wednesday, the 30th, and it's going to be how to return to work safely. Ashley will be presenting that for us also, and it's going to be in Karen. So please let us know if you want to attend that. We can definitely help you guide through our Facebook page so that you can go ahead and register for that. So I don't see any questions pop up.
See one.
Yep.
Yeah, Nora's asking, is it important to put GPA on the resume? It depends. So you don't want to put a GPA that's less than 3.0 on your resume. That's just recommended. You don't have to put your GPA on there if you're not comfortable doing so. But if I recommend it, especially if you have a major in accounting, anything that's really technical or shows that you have a degree in a career that could lead to problems. You want to make sure that you have some sort of show there, so you can show the employer that you're capable of doing the job at hand. So I mean, if you don't have a college degree, obviously you don't need to put your GPA on there. If you have very limited experience, obviously you don't need to put that on there. But if you have a college degree or you're obtaining a college degree, it is a good idea to put that on there.
Excellent. Anyone else have any other questions? Here we go.
How about if we want to add our personal interest? Yes, you can add your personal interests on there as well, definitely. In your skill set, if you have other languages that you speak, you could put that on there. You can add some of your personal interests. I've seen people, put their hobbies and things of that nature. I mean, you can do that. I wouldn't recommend doing it for all jobs that you're applying to. It depends on what you're applying to. If you're doing a management position, don't put that. But if you don't have a lot of experience and you're trying to beef up your resume, putting things on like maybe gardening and things of that nature, just show, and if you're putting on gardening or something and you're applying to a greenhouse or something, I mean, yes, that is a skill, that is a hobby, a personal interest that would be beneficial to put on a resume. So it just really depends on, what you're applying to, what job you're trying to get.
Excellent. Any other questions?
No.
Should we put training completed as education or skills? Yes, training completed. So if you have done OSHA 10 training, you can put that as a certification on your resume. If you have, certifications, I don't know, HR documents and stuff, they have a lot of different certifications. You can put that on your resume. If you have forklift certifications or anything like that, if you have certifications or if you've done a course where you've received a certificate, you can definitely put that stuff on your resume. it beefs it up, it makes it look good, and employers do look for things like that, especially if you don't if you have limited education. It does look good because you're furthering your education by taking those training courses.
Any other questions? I like that everyone's being, participating. I like that. That's great. And remember, folks, this workshop is going to be posted on our Facebook page, so you can go back and take a look at some of the stuff that Ashley went over, some of that great information, and you can definitely review it. You can take a look at the sample one that resume that she put up. So all that will be on there.
You're
So
welcome. Thanks for joining.
It doesn't look like any other questions are coming through. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And thank you for being a part of this awesome workshop. And again, next week, we'll be doing it again. So Ashley, again, thank you so much. Everyone have a great afternoon, and we'll see you then.
Thank you, you too.
Thanks, Kippa. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.